All right, here we go. Interesting. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Wait, let's try again. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see everybody. We're here on a very hot Friday, and this isn't even the hottest yet of it, but we're multi-accessing tonight. So we have people here who are live and in person, and we have people who are online. And so we say Shabbat Shalom to all of you as well. I see many of you, and it's good to see you as well. So my name is Cantor Fine. I'm the senior clergy here at Temple Bethel. And I want to welcome everyone, our congregants, our family, our friends, new people, as well as a special welcome to family and friends of Sam Lappin and the Lappin family who are here to celebrate as Sam becomes bar mitzvah tomorrow. He's also going to help in some of the service this evening. So following protocols, we're asking people to keep your masks on during the service, but to sing and to read along with me, and so that it's not an audience show, but it is a prayerful service with all of us, including those at home or wherever you are. Maybe you're up in the mountains. And if you are vaccinated, you can unmask when you come up here for any of the honors that we have this evening, and then just remask. And our prayer book is Mishkan Tefillah, and in it is the Hebrew. It has transliteration of the Hebrew, and it has translation of the Hebrew. So even if you don't know Hebrew or are unfamiliar with the prayers, you can follow along and see what we are actually saying on some of the prayers. A lot will be in English as well. There is water, just to let you know, not for you at home, but everybody here. There's water over there in the igloo. So as you feel a need to get some water, feel free. Try not to do it right in the middle of a prayer, what we're standing. But if it's an emergency, there it is. And we're going to begin. So we're going to begin with a nigun. A nigun is a song without words, because you don't need words. It's like words from your heart, and it includes nonsense syllables like I die die and yaba bim bam. And I invite you to join me. This one is called Nigun Mazel Tov, which is a celebration that is said often at weddings. And I invite you to join me. And you can clap, and you can stomp, and you can stand up even if you want to. Okay, here we go. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. That's the first part. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. And I should also mention our accompanist, Debbie Jopp, who is with us every week, and I'm so appreciative of her being able to play outside. Pretty amazing technology stuff going on. So we're going to continue now, and it's a pleasure for me to invite Alice Lappin, Sam's grandma, and Stacy Lappin, his mom, and Olivia Lappin, his big sister, to come for the lighting of the candles. It's nice to see 3 generations of strong women, and we'll be on page 3 with a reading, and then on page 2. And just watch step there, and I'll give you this, and you just point it at each
I'll just hold this in between us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to move this. Hang on. There you go.
Okay. Do I do the English
Yeah.
first? O source of light and truth.
Hang on.
Okay. Oh, you want to get my mic?
Closer,
Okay. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who brings the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Oh, good.
Ready?
What do we read? You know it.
Oh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Great job.
Mazel tov. Mazel tov, and thank you. We're going to continue with a reading on page 243 in the middle. Page 243. Join with me. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet spaces within to refresh my soul. Cease my questions, my inner debates, and let me meditate on your goodness. Help me, O God, to nurture my courage, recalling moments of strength, remembering days of fortitude, the certainty of your regard. Help me, O God, to turn to the light, warmed face and fingers outstretched, alive in your sight. And we continue with these Kabbalat Shabbat, these beautiful melodies written for Shabbat, beginning with Yismechu Hashamayim on page 14, all the way back on page 14. Actually, page 13. Page 13, at the bottom of the page, the last paragraph, Yismechu Hashamayim. Join with me. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam umelo. 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 Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. That melody is a Hasidic melody, very up, very buoyant. And another one like it is V'nomar Lefanav, which is on page 346. Page 346, the second paragraph, 346. And it says, sing before God a new song, hallelujah. V'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. V'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha, v'nomar lefanav shira chadasha. And we're we're going to continue as we welcome the bride, the Sabbath bride, on pages 20 and 21. Page 20 and 21, in Tzfat, the people would go out into the fields to celebrate and to welcome the Sabbath bride. It's nice that we're actually outside this evening. And for those of you at home or online, you can see maybe some of the back and a little bit of beautiful wind blowing. We're going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 of these verses. And on the final verse, we're going to rise and, let's see, maybe turn, which way is the wind blowing? Let's turn this way to feel a little bit of the wind and maybe a little of the Sabbath bride to join us this evening. Join us in this simple folk melody. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shahamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litihila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tehila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hit'oreri, hit'oreri, ki va'orech komi ori, 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 shir dameri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. We rise. Bo'י ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה. You can be seated. פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And we continue welcoming Shabbat with the angels of peace with Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom Malachi HaShalom Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitrem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now we continue as we conclude our Kabbalat Shabbat with Hatzi Kaddish on page 26. The Hatzi Kaddish divides the first part of our service with the service proper. Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'amad yivrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon U'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael B'gala U'v'zman kariv ve'imro Yesh merabah mevorach leolam olam eomaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekodeshah Barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'ama ve'imru. We rise for the formal call to worship with Baruch Hu on page 28, and we face east, which is that way, behind me, so you don't have to turn. Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Ai dai 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 ai dai 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 ai dai 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 ai dai 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 ai dai 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 ai dai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. And we remain standing as we continue with the Yotzer Or prayer, which is on page 30. Page 30, this prayer for the times and tides, for the changing of light to darkness and darkness to light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitivuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, Golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. and on page 32. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Am ahavta, Am chavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, U'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratcha, U'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. And now it's my honor to invite Sam Lappin, our bar mitzvah, forward to help lead us in Via Hafta. Watch your step. Okay. So right here, you can use this guy.
Do I have a stand?
You need a stand? Can you just hold? It's easy. Sorry about that. Here you go.
Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinartam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvletecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'geshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totefo bein einecha u'ketarvtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Lemahan tiskerun va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotze'etietchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Yasher Koach. Thank you, Sam. And we're going to continue on page 41 and then page 40. Read with me this prayer for freedom. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, this song of peace. Page 30. Ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh nora tehilo rosei fele nora tehilo rosei fele malechotecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zelianu ve'amru zelianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam ha'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam ha'ed v'nemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. And now we continue with the Hashkivenu prayer, this prayer for peace on page 42. And I invite you to join with me 3 lines from the top, 3 lines down, that says, Ufros aleinu, spread over us this shelter of your peace. Ufros aleinu, sukat, shlomecha, ufros aleinu, sukat, shlomecha, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu, sukat, sukat, shlomecha. And we celebrate with Vishamru on page 44. Page 44. Okay, thanks. This was hard to hear. Vishamru, Vishamru, B'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot, et HaShabbat, Lidorotam Meridolam. Try that again. Vishamru, Vishamru, B'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot, et HaShabbat, Lidorotam Meridolam. Beini oven b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם. And now we begin tefillah. We rise. We're going to face east, beginning on page 46. Page 46. Please rise as you're able. Adonai sifatai tiftach u'hofia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geola livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal givurot, umidom elach, Melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kidoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue to tefillah on page 55 at the top as we join together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha-Shabbat. And on page 56. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael utefilatam be'ahava tikabel utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha el karov lehol korav pnei el avadecha v'chonenu shefoch ruchacha aleinu v'techezena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion berachamim baruch ata Adonai hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. And we continue on Modim. Our Modim prayer, this prayer of thanks, throughout this time of COVID, we've always asked a question, and to ask how we are feeling and what thanks we have on this particular Shabbat. And so as we pray tonight, I wonder, what is one thing that you are thankful to be able to do as we open up more and more? What is one thing that you're thankful for to be able to do as we open up more and more? Those in person, I'm going to ask you in a minute, so think about it. And those online, if you would write in the chat and let us know the things that you are thankful for. And we're going to start on this side to give you more time to think about it. And just one word or one thought as we go around the room. And you don't have to say, but if you have something. Anything over here? No? Meeting people in person. Seeing family. Do you have something? She is so happy she gets to go to Camp Kalsman and that it's open, which is like the most amazing thing. And I love your long hair. You have it just like mine. Looks good. All right. Other people. Swimming at the community pool. Hugs. 2 hugs. Going to meetings. Joyce? Can you say it for her? Can't hear it. The insurance is paying for the damage on her house. Thank goodness. That is a thankful thing. Other thoughts? Being here with family. Say again? You second that. We have 2. A big 3. The whole family. Let's just do the whole family. All the Lappins are very happy to be with family, especially on this special weekend. Anything else? And I'm happy to celebrate with all of you, both here and online, and how important it is to continue this new tradition of our temple and many temples so that people can have access in many different ways. We're going to conclude the tefillah with Shalom Rav, which you can find on page 60. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim. שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה Now, after all these words that we've heard, that we've said, that we've sung, I invite everyone for some time for private meditation, and I'm going to go get a small drink of water, just like I said. I'll be right back. Page 62. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. And so now we have a blessing for two wonderful people, and this blessing was going to occur 2 weeks ago, and then our Ethernet cable died. And in the middle of our service, once of 2 times in our whole year of services online. So I asked them to return, and I think they're there. I think I see them actually. So it's good to see you again. This is for Louisa Howard and Mitch Bloom, who are celebrating a whole first year of marriage together. And I wanted to not forget them, and it's actually closer because it's on the 28th, so this is perfect timing. So I wanted to say to you first, Mazel Tov on your wedding, and I wanted to offer you 2 wedding blessings first, along with the priestly benediction and Siman Tov or Mazel Tov, which I know everybody will be joining me to share. If you're online, do write in the chat and wish them a Mazel Tov and a happy first anniversary. So here is a 2 quotes that I liked very much. The first one, Mitch and Louisa, is maybe love is not about finding the perfect person. Maybe it's about seeing an imperfect person perfectly. And the next one says, it's your first year anniversary, 1 year of marriage, 12 months of hugs, 52 weeks of laughter, 365 days of patience, and 8,784 hours of life. And so now I want to wish you a blessing. I'll ask you to bow your head slightly as we say this priestly benediction, the threefold benediction. And hang on one sec. Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichoneka. May God's face shine upon you and always be lifted up to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom. May God's face always be lifted up to you, and may God always, now and always, bring you peace. Amen. Amen. And we sing together, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen dance, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yehelanu, 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 oh Lecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh Lecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh Lecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh Lecho Yisrael. Mazel tov. Good to see you. And now a short sermon on this week's Torah portion, Balak. Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Balak. It's the tale of the seer Balaam, a handful of subsidiary characters, like the king of Moab, Balak, an angel with a fiery sword, and for comic relief, at least at first sight, of a talking she-donkey, one of the few places in the Torah where an animal actually speaks up. The story opens with Balak, king of Moab, seeking out the renowned prophet seer Balaam to curse the children of Israel as they journey through the desert. Dignitaries are sent to Balaam, but God commands Balaam not to go with them. After a couple of attempts, the dignitaries persuade him, but God commands him to utter only what God wills. Balaam saddles his donkey, and on the journey his donkey sees an angel of God blocking the path, so she diverges from the path 3 times. Balaam, not seeing the angel, beats the donkey each time. God opens the donkey's mouth, and the donkey asks, "What have I done that you have beaten me 3 times?" Balaam says, "You've made a mockery of me, and if I had a sword, I would kill you." The donkey continues and says, "I've been carrying you all day, and have I left the path even once during the trip?" And Balaam says, "No." Only then does God allow Balaam to see the angel, sword drawn in front of them. Balaam falls to the ground, and the angel explains that they had been sent to prevent Balaam from fulfilling his mission to curse the Israelites. The angel exclaims, "If your she-donkey had not shied away from me, you are the one I may have killed." Balaam responds, "I erred because I did not know that you were standing in my way. If you still disapprove, I will turn back." But the angel says, "No, continue on, but you must say nothing except what I tell you." When Balaam finally arrives to curse the Israelites, 3 times he opens his mouth to speak his curses, and 3 times God puts words in his mouth that bless the people. One of Balaam's blessings has even been codified into our prayer books. On Shabbat morning, in fact, tomorrow morning, we'll begin with Balaam's own words. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, how fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling, O Israel. What intrigues me about this tale is how Balaam and his she-donkey are portrayed, how we perceive them initially, and how our understanding of this story changes when we go below the surface. Balaam epitomizes the well-known, all-powerful prophet. As a prophet, his very name goes before him, and it carries weight and it carries prestige. He perceives the world only through hearing his own voice, his own words. He has a burning passion to spread divine insights, a powerful voice that booms with confidence, and an unwavering focus on delivering his own message. He's larger-than-life presence, he has a swagger in his step, and a need for unwavering loyalty. And for all his gifts as a prophet, he is flawed. He's unable to recognize, acknowledge, or even perceive that other people, or in this case the donkey, possess gifts and insights that he can neither see, hear, or comprehend. The she-donkey, in contrast, exemplifies the subservient, powerless animal. The donkey is not honored with a proper name, but designated as an aton, which is the Hebrew for she-donkey. She fulfills the role of a dumb beast of burden. Balaam, of course, sees her as lazy, slow, unintelligent, obstinate, foolish, stubborn. She's this animal of lowly servitude and not worthy of his time or consideration. Balaam, who has, after all, conversed directly with God, thinks that he knows how to handle his she-donkey, to allow his anger to rage out of control, to use violence and power against a defenseless animal, and to dismiss her potential sources of advice or information. I want to say, Balaam, don't you get it? Your donkey is literally having a conversation with you. As a prophet, don't you think that your donkey's sudden gift of speech might be a perfect time to bless her and not to curse her? The aton, or she-donkey, with eyes and mouth opened by God, is actually the one who knows what is right, to accept the greatest responsibility of carrying the burden of others, to see the danger of the sword-wielding angel, and for that reason to go cautiously and slowly to protect Balaam. In this story, she speaks with intelligence and wisdom, and it is she who sees the angel of God. So in this story, who is the prophet and who is the animal? Who is wise and who is unlearned? Who is cruel and who is kind? Who is perceptive and who is blind? Who speaks in curses and who speaks in blessings? Who takes the time to consider others around them, and who has never given others a moment's thought? Whose voice matters? Never assume that you know the reality of someone's situation. You do not. Your perception cannot possibly take in everything that needs to be considered in order to know what the actual reality is. And then you start cursing in your way of trying to alter or rewrite the reality of a situation. So how do we offer blessings instead? First, we've got to stop and engage in someone else's reality. You've got to see and hear what a person, or animal in this case, is trying to share with you. It's their reality, after all. Don't shout, listen. Don't fix it, empathize. Don't be abusive, care. Don't assume, consider. And don't detach, but be present. So don't curse, bless. And we say together, Amen. So now it's an honor for me to call on one of our board members, one of our newer board members, David Wheeler, who's going to come up and share with us some of the many, many events that are happening. Good to see you, David.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Great to see everybody. I want to thank everybody who came here, multi-access as well as in person. We're really excited to have you here. There's a way to make this work, and we're making it work. We're really grateful to be able to offer this remotely as well as in person. Thank you, Cantor Fine, for leading us tonight. It's been a wonderful service, and it's really not that hot. Thanks, Sam, for being a bar mitzvah and being here, for your whole family, leading prayers, candle lighting. And tomorrow, we're looking forward to you being a bar mitzvah, and it's going to be really nice to be here. It's going to be inside where it's cooler, which I think makes a lot of sense. Thanks to Bonnie Becker for handling the service production and broadcast while learning a software package. That can't be easy. We're starting a new group called the Temple Tech Team, or TTT, to help with this role. And we're not going to be able to do this unless we have your help. So we're looking forward to having volunteers to help ensure that we can continue to do this. Please contact Aaron Peterson or Jordan Harris. You don't really need experience, but you'll get trained for a new skill. We have got a number of opportunities to gather, learn, and celebrate over the next few days and weeks. Many of these are Zoom meetings. The only place to find those Zoom links is the Shabbat Shalom email that's sent out every Thursday. Friday services will continue to be made available on both Facebook Live and on YouTube, even though we've returned to the in-service in person. For the time being, Saturday services will remain on Zoom except for tomorrow, of course. We hope to be back in person in the coming weeks, and we'll let you know. All Friday services will begin at 6 p.m. through the end of August. Tomorrow, there's Torah study at 9 a.m., Torah study service at 10 a.m. The best way to find the Zoom link for the service is to click on the link provided in the Shabbat Shalom. If you need the meeting ID and passcode, those are found in the section titled General Information about joining a Zoom meeting. For those who have registered for the service tomorrow, we look forward to seeing you. Please make sure to review the email you should have received regarding the protocols for attending. Because it's so warm, the service is indoors. So it might take a little longer to check everybody in and get you to your assigned seat. Make sure to arrive early enough to get checked in by the start of the service. Tomorrow in the evening, we'll have Zoom Havdalah at 7:30. Also, the Religious Education Committee is hosting the first of a series of summer park playdates. This first one will be next Tuesday, June 29th. It's at Sam Peach Park in Puyallup from 10 a.m. until noon. Save the date for welcoming our Rabbi TV, who will be the rabbi for the next year. On Friday, July 9th at 6 p.m., we'll have a special installation Shabbat service for Rabbi TV. It will be his first Shabbat service at Temple Bethel. Register early to ensure a seat if you'd like to attend this in person. Another save the date, Tacoma Pride presents Celebrating Our Queerness, LGBTQ plus interfaith service and gathering. Sunday, July 11th, 3 p.m. at Todd Field at UPS Tacoma. Cantor Fine has helped chair this event, and Temple Bethel is a proud sponsor. As mentioned, we're beginning to
Oh, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We're going to move towards the concluding prayers of our service, beginning with Aleinu. I'll ask you to rise and face east. We're on page 282 and then 284. Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Please be seated. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, ואלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. On page 287 at the top, we read together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. On page 289, this reading before the Mourner's Kaddish. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our life burns down, and gutters, there is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen, yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and of life. On this Shabbat, I first ask those who have lost someone in the past day, weeks, or month to rise. And I'll ask those to rise who are observing a yahrzeit on this Shabbat. I want to first think of those that have lost their lives in Surfside and those who are mourning tonight for at least 4 of those who have died. In our community, in the period of yahrzeit, we're thinking of Rabbi Alexander Astor, J. George Branfeld, Pincus Buchbinder, Morris S. Burnett, Blanche Cam, J. Cowles, Samuel Friedman, Emma Rivka Howell, Clara Joseph, Ken Caron, Irma Kohler, Leslie Landau, Benjamin Lehrer, Herman Levy, Joseph McCloy, Jessica Lynn Moore, Wigberto Osma, Don Owings, Byron Rosen, Bertha Schneider, Harry Seitz, Miriam Spigal, Audrey Staymeisen, Eric Stegman, Joseph Walker, Joseph Wilner, Muriel Feist Winston. To all the mourners we say, Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God console you with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uvechaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha barich hu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehe shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We say zichronam livracha. May all those that we remember, may their names and all that they did and created on this earth be for a blessing. And we say, Amen. Please be seated. So I want to thank everyone for coming to services, both online and in person. It wasn't too bad. I was very happy with the wind and the air tonight, so this is a good thing. I want to thank Alice, Stacy, and Olivia for lighting candles this evening. I want to thank Sam for leading Via Hafta, as well as Kiddushin Motzi, which is coming up. Don't forget, because I didn't forget. Also, thanks to Dave Wheeler for announcements. Thanks to our accompanist, Debbie Jopp. I feel like I'm at the award show, but it's not, because all of these people are so important to create and make this service happen. And I want to thank Bonnie Becker, and I want to thank Aaron Peterson for an endless tasks of setting up, of creating all of this audio and video so that we can pray together. After our closing song, I'm going to invite Sam forward to lead us for Kiddush and Motzi. We're going to conclude with a prayer asking for much needed peace. We actually sang it in our service, Oseh Shalom, but this one is a little more upbeat. after that, I'll ask you to take your chairs back to the rack as you're able to. And if you're not, just let someone know and we'll get it back there for you. And there is some challah, which will be on the table as you head out. So we want you to enjoy and celebrate Shabbat. So we're going to conclude with Oseh Shalom. The words are on page 343. Page 343. And the melody goes like this. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh Shalom aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, yaseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Sing it with me. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol We got through it. Good job. We're going to get you clips. Okay. So I'm going to invite our bar mitzvah forward for a kiddush. I'm going to pour some wine for us. And you can follow. The kiddush is on page 5. And then the blessing for motzi is on 302. 5 and 302. So give me one moment. Actually, come this way just a little bit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava uratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit
Ki hu yom tehila lemikra e kodesh. Zecher litziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim. V'shabbat kodsho Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. Good job. Wait, don't go away. Here, we'll hold this together. Okay, please. Okay. There you go. Hold that. Okay, and nice and low.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. B'tei avon, a good meal. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good to see you all. Shabbat shalom. And enjoy. Shabbat shalom. Good job. Yasher koach.
I messed up on the last part.
That's okay. It was great. Nobody would know. Nobody. It was really great. All right. Are you ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
All right. Get a good night's sleep. I know you're going to want to stay up a little late like that, right? But make sure you have like a nice good breakfast.